Hello. In every democratic government, every member of the society has a role to play. You're either part of the government or you're part of the governed. My name is Oluchi Carlo Emeka, and this is my role on Anambra Broadcasting Service. In this platform, we critically look into the roles of different government agencies, departments, and ministries. Look at their responsibilities, look at their challenges, and critically examine and analyze their achievements, especially as it relates with the solution agenda. Today, as you can see, we are right here at the Anambra State Solid Minerals Development Company. Also, the Anambra State Petroleum and Energy Resources Limited. We're going to be having a chat with the chairman of the Anambra State Petroleum and Energy Resources Limited, who is also the MD CEO of the Anambra State Solid Minerals Development Limited. He's going to be telling us about the role of the agency, what is the mandate of these different companies, what has been their challenge so far, their responsibilities, their achievements. Join us as we go into this place to have a chat with Professor Charles Ofebu. Don't go anywhere. You're welcome back to my role on Anambra Broadcasting Service. Remember, today, like I promised you, we are right in the office of a distinguished Nigerian geophysicist, a man who has actually set himself apart in the academic and petroleum industry in Nigeria. He is currently the MD CEO of the Anambra State Solid Minerals Development Company Limited, and also the chairman of the Anambra State Petroleum and Energy Resources Limited. Now, this is one man playing the role of two men. I'm talking about Professor Charles Ofebu. Now, we are right here. We have a lot of questions. We're going to wait first. Sir, a very beautiful day to you.
You too. Same to you.
You know, walking into your office, I noticed that it's more like one building, two in one building.
Yes.
Okay. I would like to find out what exactly happens here. Now I see that you're actually managing solid minerals, and then we're also seeing petroleum and energy resources.
Yes.
So can you tell us what's the mandate, what's the role? These two agencies, are they together? Are they separate? Can you make Ndi Anambra understand?
Well, the Solid Mineral Development Agency is different from the Petroleum and Energy Resources Agency. Okay. However, both agencies put together constitute what you call the extractive industry sector of the economy. They are both extractive industry. Extractive in the sense that you pull out from the earth what God has kept underground. For petroleum, it becomes petroleum and energy, it becomes hydrocarbon or gas. And for energy, again, you utilize the gas and the hydrocarbon to generate, to produce energy, which is what a key thrust of this administration. Solid minerals, of course, we go for the minerals and so on. And the role, our job now is identify the key solid minerals in the state, and then develop them, give them higher value, not just excavating and carrying away to India or to China or anything. Give them value. Having given them value, use them for local utilization and for export. And so we set about doing that. Then for petroleum, Again, assess the petroleum, the other couple, the oil and gas potentials of the state. To what extent are they being exploited? And if so, what value are they being given to the state? And now there are a lot of, look at Anambra Seas in Anambra Basin, one of the basins richest in gas resources in Africa, if not in Nigeria, if not in the whole of Africa. Globally known. Shell, for example, all these oil companies started the exploration work here in Anambra State. But because then the interest was in oil, not gas, they all moved on towards Niger Delta. So all over the state is spotted gas fields, gas wells, taps, abandoned. Not because they're of no value, but today the story is changing. Oil is no longer the vogue. What is in vogue is gas. So what do? Gas may not give you bulk money, but the long-term benefits of gas is much. Energy, industrialization, employment, and what have you. So our outfit, what we do here under Petroleum Energy, we're supposed to now assess this field. Anambra wants to become, what we have here, what I'm sitting on top is supposed to be the NNPC of Anambra State. So we now want to acquire these assets, give further value to them through additional exploration work, then have the licenses, get partners to operate them, produce our gas from the gas, produce energy, have our own refinery, petroleum, maybe modular refineries in the state. Hopefully, it's a long-term thing. It's not a small boys game. Hopefully, over time, we'll no longer be dependent on anybody for energy. We'll also no longer be dependent on anybody for petroleum. And then the gas we have, we can now fire our industries. And so this is what we're doing in petroleum. In the solid mineral sector, we're required to evaluate the potential, solid mineral potentials of the state, with emphasis on those that we need, because we want to industrialize. So we emphasize industrial minerals in the state, and we embarked on what we call an enumeration exercise. That was the starting point. You must know what you have to even determine what you do with what you have. And then we then identify the fact that Anambra State is endowed with a lot of industrial minerals. Having realized that, the next question is, where are these industrial minerals? What are their volumes? What is their economic importance? And so Mr. Governor said, Anambra solid minerals, can you give us an enumeration of our solid minerals? Can you come up with what we have and what we don't have? Can you come up on the reserve estimates? Can you come up on their economic values and what role they will play in our industrialization of the state? We embarked on that, started it, and in a month or two, because he wants results, and I also want to provide results, we concluded that. So today we have enumerated essentially every location, every mining location, everywhere. If you like, let it be laterite you're digging. Laterite is a mineral, is a mine. Anywhere you are in the state, we have enumerated it and mapped them and put them in a single map.
Oh, wow.
And then all the mineral resources of the state and where they are located. Some of the communities don't even know what they are. People have built houses on solid minerals, they don't even know. Industrial minerals of value. And then what next do we do? Having identified all this, is to acquire them and have licenses for them. And we have commenced that. At the moment, we already have up to 8 licenses. We're interested in the industrial minerals that will give us value. Most importantly, again, we identified that this state is rich in what we call pharmaceutical kaolin. These are kaolin that can be used medicinal purpose. You know, when you take bismuth or phyllic of magnesia, for those of you who grew up knowing what is called phyllic of magnesia, antacid. Antacid is kaolin based. They import it, the pharmaceutical companies import it here, but we'll have it in Anambra State. And as I speak, we've acquired it and we're setting up a plan to process it and have it used by pharmaceutical companies in Nigeria and exported. And then so we now have all these industrial minerals. We have glass sand, not the normal sand used in plastering houses. Sand that is silicate, the quantity of silicate, the purity and everything, so that you use it to produce not just colored bottles for beer, but glass panes for houses. The kind of thing you see on movies. You see those massive glass you use in building hotels and so on. They import them, but we'll have it now. And it doesn't take much technology to produce glass panes. Heat that silicate to a certain temperature and so on. And then mold it to the size you want. And then put it on the top of a belt and it runs out and it cools down and you have your glass. So we have that, and we've mapped all that, and we've acquired the licenses for it. We own, Anambra State now own them through this company. We own all these assets now, and then we're now beginning to process them. We want to give them higher value. Where do they start? We started with the car lane. So we started the car lane. And the first car lane processing plant, I guess the most modern processing plant we're going to have in this country, has just been completed at Opo. Mr. Governor, Mr. Solution did that in 4 months. Government usually takes years to set up an industry, to be announced.
Yeah.
And then maybe next year, every year it's announced. Some budget is created. Some people, but Mr. Governor said, he just said to me, MD, Anambra Solid Minerals, when will this car processing plant be ready? And I said, give me 3 months, give me intake, it will be ready for solution. Funds were released, and I think in 4 months, it is ready for commissioning and will be commissioned this month. It's at Opo. We have reactivated an old 1-hour machine mill, then brought in a very modern mill from China, the 3-hour. It has been installed, it's been tested. It's, in fact, test running is current as I speak now. It's being test run at Opo now. And it's ready for commissioning. For Mr. Governor to give us a date for the commissioning.
Thank you so much. All right, we're going to go on a short break. Remember, this is still my role on Anambra Broadcasting Service, and we are with Professor Charles Ofewu. He is the MD CEO of Anambra State Solid Minerals Development Company, and then he's also the chairman of the Anambra State Petroleum and Energy Resources Limited. We'll go on a short break. When we return, we have a lot of questions, a lot to look into. We're looking into the challenges. We're also looking into how Anambra can keep in. Let's take this break. We'll be back. All right, welcome back to my role on Anambra Broadcasting Service. We're right here with the chairman of the Anambra State Petroleum and Energy Resources Limited. He is also the MD CEO of Anambra State Solid Minerals Development Company, Professor Charles Ofewu. Sir, we need to look at investing. Professor Charles Soludo has the PPCP model, where we have the public-private community partnership model. So we'd like to know, how can the private sector and communities partner with your companies?
Yes, I think actually that has been that is our understanding.
Okay.
For example, in the solid mineral sector, having identified and acquired ownership of these assets, we're now inviting investors to come partner with us. The processing plant we're doing at Opo, which we believe will be commissioned this month, is a test case for people to see that such an industry can be set up and made to thrive in Anambra State successfully. The extension for the pharmaceutical pharmaceutical class grade kaolin, we're hoping that once the warehouse is done, it becomes part of the investment of the state government through Anambra State Solid Minerals Industry. Now, investors are now expected to come in, buy into it, become partners, have the equity in it. And as I speak now for the kaolin, because everybody is so excited about the pharmaceutical class kaolin, we already have proposals from, I think, 2, 3 or so interested people. And Anambrans who are overseas, because that is the dream of the governor. that our own people should come, not to allow, bring it in and bring Asians, bring and so on. Outside. So a number of them have already held meetings with us, even and did NDAs with us, expression of interest. They're all before the governor. The governor is going to look at it and take a decision on who are serious and who should we move forward with. So already on that track. Then the communities are also being encouraged to key in. For example, how do they key in? Like in Okpo, in Ozubolo, in Tejago, and so on. We've already set up what we call, instead of illegal mining, we're considering them into mining cooperatives, which is provided for in the Mining Act, empowering them and now making them to provide the raw, like the mining cooperatives that are now sourcing the raw materials we need for the processing plant. We have our own mining sites there, but we're asking them now, you mine, come in, we'll pay you, empower you, but you also provide us security. The community has to provide us security and provide us security. And also, we're encouraging the indigenous of the communities who are comfortable to invest in these activities. We're encouraging the town unions themselves. For example, if we have this thing, maybe in Oka, the town union in Okpo, to invest in this processing plant, when we say we want to take so percentage
So
of it and for
ownership,
yes, or partial ownership, because it's very technical, they cannot,
yes.
And then that's what we're doing. It's all in line with the policy of the governor, the government. There's the trust of the government. We're doing that. But by and large, what we're looking for, key investors that have the money. A lot of these activities in oil and gas, in solid minerals, the high stake activities that require quite some money. For example, the pharmaceutical grade clothing we're looking for now, for the equipment, the R5 equipment, the 5-hour equipment we need for that is going to cost about 400 million naira. The 6 hours is about 480 million. By the time you finish bringing it in, install everything, you're talking about 600-700 million naira. It's less, you're about $1 billion. We'll get it going. So we're now looking for investors who have that kind of capacity. Because having acquired the mineral, we own it. Having acquired the site, the land, we own it. The factory house, we own it. The power to bring in that capacity of power we need is a lot of money on the part of the state. So the state has this as this volume of investment. We now want you to come in and say, okay, my own contribution is that I will now partner with you to bring in the equipment. That becomes your equity in the business. And we're looking for Anambrans who are capable of doing it. A lot of people have expressed this interest, but we're still looking at their papers. You have to give us a technical capability, give us a technical proposal, give us a financial proposal. And of course, the state is not interested in any loan. We want you to come in as a partner, not as a loan, but as an equity. And we now operate together, agree on how it will run. And then it's a win-win situation. But we own the assets, we own the location, we own the land, we own even the power being used.
Okay, so I'd like us to look at the challenges being faced by both agencies now. Are there challenges, especially being a new baby in the industry? What are the challenges faced by both of them, both for solid minerals and for petroleum and energy resources?
Well, the typical challenge we face is acceptability and making people reason differently. When people are used to doing things in a particular way, and suddenly you begin to find new ideas. Like as the governor is putting up. Obviously, the battering comes to me heading these agencies. People who are not used to knowing that you could have a private sector driven agency suddenly in place and backed by Mr. Governor, supported wholeheartedly with our governor, giving challenges, and you deliver those challenges and he feels happy. The tendency is that
people will say,
there's a lot of problems you face.
Yes.
But by and large, the end justifies the means. And the challenge to me is to ensure that the end justifies the means. That at the end of the day, everybody will look back and say, maybe Mr. Governor was right in what the decision he took to now become very, very business oriented in what we do this. Then also we have the problem of communities where you go to. Some people believe that this belongs to us, that belongs to us, so you can't do that. This is this and that and that. And so again, we face that. But then with experience, we'll find a way of meandering through that. At the end of the day, you see communities where we go to, and some people are coming to say that some young men will come out and say, no, that this state, this thing belongs to all of us. And I'm going to say, Governor, take it if you think it's valuable to the state. So you have to meander through all that. But all that requires a lot of tact. And, well, there's general funding problems, but I must be frank with you. The governor has been fair to my two agencies in terms of funding. Maybe he believes that results will always come. There's been hardly any requests I've made for support for these two agencies that has been turned down. And he believes that where he's going, like he says, the petroleum one will end up being the NNPC of Anambra State. The solid mineral ones are already being seen. It's already, what do you call it, a milk cow, or I don't know the word that's usually used for the state. Because we're going to generate the funds, and we're going to make it in such a way that the state, the internal generated revenue of the state has already begun to grow. Taxation, even from illegal mining that has ended, which we are driving from this agency. And at the end of the day, it will pay. And people will come back and say to Mr. Governor, I guess you were right. And also, the onus is on me to prove that he was also right in picking me and bringing me and putting me to run this. It's not easy. At times people ask, how can one person run all this? Yeah.
I asked
yes. But then, it's for me to prove that he didn't make a mistake. Yes. It's a challenge. It's not an easy challenge.
Okay. But we'd like to look at the future plan of the agency. If you've been able to achieve this much under just roughly 1 year, that means that maybe by the time Mr. Governor is done, Anambra State will be like just true. So you want to maybe tip us a little bit on the future plan?
Okay, let me start with, I look at energy because part of why the state is under industrialized because we don't have adequate energy. Okay. We don't have power. Look at most communities in the state. My community also, there are parts that have never seen electricity in the last 3 months or so. Even with all the wires you see running all over the place. Parts of furniture, you have power fill and so on. But they have the source of power just by the corner. We are doing a work, something we're doing now, waste to power. All the waste dumps in the state, we are now coming up with a program to convert them into power. And the project is, I have a staff whose job it is waste to energy. We're looking at that. We're also looking at the geothermal resources of the state. Everywhere you have a spring, like where we have this lignite, who own the lignite belt to have leased them. Everywhere you see this lignite, they're all coming out, their springs. Like at where the lignite was, samples we collected, we took for exhibition in Abuja that people were shouting. It was from a spring. In Ozo, we have a warm spring. Anywhere you see these warm springs, they are associated with geothermal resources. And what we're looking at now is converting the geothermal resources of the state into energy, real life energy for people to use. It's a program we're doing the desktop studies now. The R&D work is going on at an advanced stage. In fact, the first initial report on it was presented at a conference last year, in Abuja, which I presented as a lead paper that made people aware that Anambra State is actually rich in geothermal energy. Then we're looking at that, and now we're discussing with an American group for wind, short blade wind farms. For example, the waste in Onitsha can generate energy to take care of that up way, the whole of that area. The waste, yes, can generate enough power. Then the waste in Equilobia, at Newi,
even
in Oka too. So we're putting up what, so we're working on it seriously. And, again, that work is ongoing. Then the geothermal energy, like I told you, is very technical. We're leaning on the experience of people in Kenya for that. Then the recent one we started now is on wind energy. That is, we want to go that direction. And then for the solid minerals in the future, like I said, the future is great. We have the resources. We want to now go downstream, enhance the quality of those minerals, and now export them processed rather than as raw materials, as raw. What's going on now is that people are taking away our materials raw. But we're saying no more. We want to have it processed. If I hope I'm sure ABS will be there when we commission the project.
We will be
and
there.
you see, even the bag is written Kaolin, product of Anambra State, made in Nigeria. In bags, standard international bags. The bags are not here. I would have shown you. Standard international bags. And then we put the weights. This is the weight. This is the chemical composition. It's all on that. That is the standard the governor wants. So after that commissioning, the first 200 bags will be loaded the following day, because the machine is capable of, in fact, the machine is capable of, we're hoping that we should be generating 200, 400 bags of kaolin. So in future, we're hoping that all these industrial minerals we have in the state will become like the kaolin, which we are laying the foundation and telling people this is the way we want our kaolin handled. So we want to do that. That's the future we have. Hopefully by next year, the pharmaceutical kaolin plant would have been running and generating funds. The bentonite processing plant, people are already discussing with us. We have designed the plant. We have the assets. We own the land. The Chalago people have also donated the land for the factory to be put in place. They donated it. So the survey, Minister of Lands have done the survey. The CO should be out soon. So haven't donated that for us, and we have acquired legally. We have legal right to the bentonite deposits. We want to create a lab that is internationally acceptable, that mineral stock exchanges will accept the results we produce. Soludo doesn't go for anything less. He must be the right quality standard, and that's what we're trying to do.
So I will take that as your last one. Thank you so much. We've been having a smooth conversation with the chairman of Anambra State Petroleum and Energy Resources Limited, and also the MD CEO of Anambra State Solid Minerals Development Company, Professor Charles Ofebu. It's been quite a day on my role, and we've discovered the roles these companies actually play in the development of Anambra State and also in the solution agenda. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. I haven't seen anything yet. The solution agenda is just beginning.
All right. Thank you, sir. What an outing it has been at the office of the Anambra State Solid Minerals Development Company and also Anambra State Petroleum and Energy Resources Limited. We had a chat with Professor Charles Ofebu, who also happens to be the chairman of the Anambra State Petroleum and Energy Resources Limited, and also the MD and CEO of the Anambra State Solid Minerals Development Company. We got to find out the role of the two companies, their responsibilities, their achievements, their challenges, and also we critically looked into the future plan of both companies, especially how it relates with development in Anambra State. It's been quite an outing indeed. My name is Oluchi Kaluemeka, and you're still on to Anambra Broadcasting Service. What is your role? Join us next week when we critically look into the role of another government agency, department, or even a ministry in Anambra State. Don't go anywhere.